What's good, y'all? Cal Visuals, and today we're gonna talk about false color. What the hell is it? Why does it matter? And why should you be using it? All right, y'all. So false color is essentially a program or like software, if you will, that allows you to read the different brightness levels going on within your camera. It goes on a scale of 0 to 100 IRE. IRE is essentially this scale of measuring, again, the brightness going on in your camera, whatever environment you're looking at. What's great about IRE, or the Institute of Radio Engineers, it's guys who invented it, just a little brag, I guess. Pretty cool though, right? What I love about false color, as compared to something like a histogram, is it gives you the brightness levels based on the area. So you can actually look and see, maybe the skin tones are super bright, but that corner over there is super, super dark. Whereas if you're using a histogram, it just tells you the general exposure level within your image. It doesn't tell you, what's overexposed, what's underexposed, what looks clean and good. And so having false color is incredible for that matter. So let's jump into my story a little bit. So originally, I was just shooting using my regular camera. I wasn't using an external monitor of any kind. I was producing some pretty good work, but I'd come back to do my post-production work after shooting, and I'd realized I had made a lot of mistakes that I could have easily fixed or would have made the production, so much better, like simply, taking my aperture to 2.8 rather than 5.6. So just making little changes like that, little subtle things, but can make a huge difference in the overall look and just quality of the end product I'm providing. And so I was having this issue where, I thought things were exposed properly. I'm looking at my histogram, I'm seeing, okay, this is as even as I'm gonna get it, I'm seeing some peaking here. And so I never really knew necessarily what exactly the peaking was with. I mean, you get a general idea looking at the image, but you can't be very pinpoint accurate. Whereas with false color, you get to do that, and it's beautiful. So what happened, right? So I started using false color. How? I picked up an external monitor. And that's probably what you're gonna have to do as well, unfortunately. This isn't a feature that you really ever find in camera bodies. So it's most likely gonna be something you'll get with purchasing an external monitor. I would just maybe do some research and figure out which monitor is right for you, and obviously make sure that it includes false color with it. This is your 0. This is your blacks. This is killed, like nothing's there. Next level kind of bumped up is blue, and so that's like 0 to 10 IRE. And so that's pretty much the same. I mean, your shadows are essentially killed out. It's all black. But there's like a little bit of information there. Then we look at the top end of the spectrum, and it goes red to orange. And so red is 100% IRE. That's total white. If you looked at the image, it would be completely white. Orange is like in the 90 range, and so that's, more so super bright, kind of overexposed. Then you start bringing it into the closer elements of the scale. The very middle portion is centered at pink, dark gray, and gray, and so gray is obviously a little bit more on the underexposed side, gray, a little bit of the over, and pink right in the middle. I mean, all three are the middle range, the tonal range you want. I mean, neither are going to be underexposed or over. It's right in that perfect range. It's just, functioning within the three is kind of where you want to be. And then lastly, outside, those three elements right there, we have black and yellow. Black and yellow are your quarter points. These are key because these are like your warning signs. These are letting you know that, hey, your image is about to be overexposed, or hey, your image is about to be underexposed. The stuff that's showing up in black, that's like, you have very minimal data there. You go any bit, you crank your shutter up any higher, or you drop your ISO down, and you're gonna lose that information. Yellow is like, okay, we're getting on the peaking point here. If you crank the if you get any brighter in your image here, this is gonna be overexposed. You won't be able to save this information. And so they're just great in looking at that scale, and that they kind of provide those warning signs for you, and you can kind of pinpoint, where exactly you should be. So looking at the scale, you know, black is generally between 22 to 42 IRE, and then yellow, again on the higher end of the scale, is somewhere between 84 and 94 IRE. And again, you know, these are just warning signals you want to watch out and be aware of. And lastly, a little tidbit here is keeping in mind that skin tones are great around the 70 IRE range. Again, it's going to be slightly different for the varying skin tones. Obviously, you know, white skin tones you're going to treat differently than black, or, you know, Asian or Middle Eastern. But, you know, generally they are all around that 70 Generally, they are all around that 70 IRE range. And again, guys, I just really love using false color because it gives me my exposure and my brightness levels, you know, on an area basis, which is huge, especially if you start working on higher end projects, bigger budgets, high end clients. Those are people, you know, you can't be like, hey, let's have a makeup day. Whoops, I messed that up. You know, you can't make mistakes. You just straight up can't make the mistakes. And this is a great way to kind of prevent that. And again, it's just gonna help you really, really get that perfect image you want. You know, so if you're doing something in studio and you want your subject lit, you want nothing else, you want all black behind them and to the sides, well, this is false color is a great way to make sure that, you know, you're killed out. You know, maybe it's all, you're seeing all black and all dark gray on the sides, you know, so, you know, pretty much everything is killed out, except right here we're seeing some slight dark gray and like some pink and a little bit, you know, wherever the key light's coming from, maybe it's directly coming down, its headlight, and that's kind of more of the light gray side, something like that, you know. So it's really helpful in getting the exact brightness levels that you want within your image, and just kind of having pinpoint accuracy with that. So when you come into post-production world, you're not screaming at yourself, or your editor isn't screaming at you. All right, y'all, that's it for this episode. What is false color and why you should be using it? Be sure to like and subscribe. We got more content coming. Can't wait to share the information. If you can reach one, teach one. Peace.